few moments, you will have an experience that will seem completely real. It's the result of your subconscious fears transformed to your conscious.
Red leather, yellow leather, red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow, yellow. Straight into it then. How do you feel about the way the industry is going at the moment with AI being so involved?
Yeah, that's a huge one, isn't it? Fucking huge. Yeah, like, I mean, there's no stopping it, I know that, you know, so we're never going backwards, we're always moving forward, so sure it's a big one to talk about, but let's, I guess, tip on it and see where we get. I don't like the fact that AI is creating art as such, like, you know, as if you want to call it art, I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's like, I seen somebody put up, like, I want AI to, you know, do my laundry and clean my house so I have time to draw.
To be more creative.
That I can, you know, use AI to be creative and then I have time to do laundry. That's, you know, nobody wants that. Like, so we need to, like, I mean, it's artificial intelligence. I'm presuming that humans are behind all the steps, let's say. I know it's learning itself, but I think that, yeah, I would really like it to clean my house so that I can draw and paint, you know. That's essentially, that's how I feel about it.
You think, like, well, thinking back, when you're a bit younger, you think like 20 years from now there's going to be hovercrafts and all this shit. Obviously, it went a little bit of a different way when, you know, some things are similar, but then the AI, I didn't think this is the way it was going to be, you know, but because it's crazy the shit it can do, and it's amazing in a way, and, you know, it's scary on the other side of it, but I definitely think it's the way you look at it. It depends on the way you look at it, really, is whether you use it to your advantage in the right way and healthy way rather than abusing it. I know some people will probably completely disagree with that and say, no, it shouldn't be a part of it. You know, everyone will have their opinions on it. But I think that it can be positive if you use it in a certain way. You know, there's certain people out there who are taking, I definitely don't believe in people taking a design that they just see and like using that straight up as it is. You know, they might not even go on to ChatGPT or wherever you're getting it from. They might not even go on there and take it from, like, out of their own. They're not even describing what they want. Yeah. They're just, you know, and look, I've done it myself, but I'm taking the reference and I'm using it same as any other reference that I find of a girl's face or whatever. And then I'm using that and I'm manipulating that in my own way. I'm drawing on top of it, and it's completely different by the time I'm finished with it. And there's my touch on it, and because there's still drawing involved. But if you're just taking it as is, thrown up, you know, because there's so many completely finished designs out there, and it says underneath like AI designs or whatever. Then I think if you're putting that up and trying to cod people that that's your work or your designs, that's a different story.
That's a different story, I think that's, I suppose that's where at the moment, because it's going to progress so quickly, but at the moment that's where I'm kind of drawing the line with it, where if you've no creativity in that, like, I know people get stuff from the internet, and it could be from anywhere, so it doesn't really matter if it's AI generated or not. You know, somebody could have digitally created something and like taken a photograph of a Greek god statue and created that themselves. They put it up on Pinterest. I go, oh yeah, there's Zeus, that's grand, I'll use that. So like, whether somebody did that, a person did it, a human put that time into it, or AI created it from all of the images that are out there. You're still
something that you didn't.
Something that you had no interest or no part in.
No part of,
And so, but I do think that using AI in that way, you could create an entire sleeve and not have any part of it, you know. And I just, it doesn't sit well with me, you know. I want to, but then I'm a very creative person. I think more creative than artsy even, or technical or whatever. So I can create all these images in my head. So I want to get that out. Whereas if I do it through AI, I'm not really. I feel like I'm cutting too many corners, and I'm not being legitimate. And I think being legitimate in the tattoo industry or the tattoo community is a very big deal. We all still want to be legitimate, authentic artists, you know. and I think some people are pushing that now in a different direction, and it doesn't sit well.
In a way, like that's why I always stand by if that tattoo artist. Hopefully, maybe I'm being a bit too positive with it, but I'm hoping that tattoo artists will always, or at least the good kind, the actual artists will stand the test of time, no matter where this AI goes, whether it becomes into like, you know, a machine that can do your tattoo for you, which I'm sure we've already seen. Like there's literally a machine out there now. I'm not sure if it's, you know, how, you know, accessible it is for people with normal money or whatever. I don't know the cost of it, but they're already working on it, and it can kind of stamp a tattoo into you. But now it's like a little kind of, wouldn't even say fine line. It's a tattoo.
Do you know? Is this one? There's definitely one in the studio in New York.
I'm not sure if it's in one, but it could have been since. There's definitely, it's like not just a prototype. I think it's out there now. It's this like, you know. But I've seen tattoos that it's done, and it's like a stamp. You know, I've seen portraits, little small tattoos. But the one thing that can't do is create something to flow with your body. Not yet, anyway. Yeah. To flow with your body, an artist's mind. You know, to just, you know, there's something that we just can't. Something that we can do that the machines and AI can't do. So what I worry with that is that people with AI, if they're abusing it, they're going to stop creating art themselves. Yeah. So it's different, like in the way I'm saying that I take it and I'll try and create something else with it. That's different. You're still training your brain to what way am I going to put this here? What shapes am I going to put together? But if you just take something and put it on someone else that's never your design, and then you just tattoo it, how different are you than a machine that they're going to create in possibly 10, 20 years or whatever? They might not ever create it, but, you know,
I agree.
What's the difference in you just taking this and putting it here?
Yeah.
You know, and there's some guys out there that aren't doing it even well. So, like, if you're going to do that, at least fucking do a good tattoo. You know, like, there's guys, like, and the guys
You've
who
got
are...
all of the help. Like, everything. You've got everything at your fingertips. You can buy the best machine on Amazon or anywhere. You don't need any more help. You've got everything. You've got tutorials. You've got everything there is. How the fuck are you doing a bad tattoo if you're using AI to create your design?
You have all that fucking time that you would have spent on the fucking design. Spend that on getting your fucking tattoo right. And, like, you know, at least you've done a good tattoo. But there's just a lot of the times I see these guys. It's always the same type of guys that are doing it. The same artists that, like, not even artists. I wouldn't call them artists because
people kind of want to be tattooers.
It's just they're usually not good if they're doing that. You know, they're not pushing themselves. Obviously, there is people out there that can do a decent tattoo. I know it's getting into something else, but there's a guy out there. Not sure if we're going to show this on, you know, but Paulie D.
Right.
Fucking like this guy done a tattoo with like 6 fingers.
Oh,
it was like, I think it was the creation of Adam, and it was like 6 fingers on one because he just didn't bother his arse to look at the fucking design that he probably just copied somewhere that AI put it up. Someone put it up on Pinterest or you know the way AI does all these 6 fingers things. And
it doesn't have a grasp on reality yet. Like,
and like this guy is painful. Like, you know, there's just I've commented on stuff before from him. I actually had to block him because it was pissing me off so much. Right. And I usually wouldn't be that petty, but I just couldn't see his stuff anymore because it was pissing me off. And even like saying
black and grey realism.
He does black and grey tattoos.
Yeah. So like what we would have called was black and grey.
I wouldn't say realism because maybe it's like someone's attempting it. And like, don't get me wrong, he's not the worst tattoo artist I've ever seen. Yeah. But it's just the way he's doing things. He has like a tattoo course and all this kind of stuff. But this went viral, and even though
is this the guy that has a like is he doing a kind of a tattoo school as well?
Done a tattoo school, and charging so probably through the nose. And he's living this like, you know, superstar lifestyle, fancy cars and, you know, all this kind of stuff. But even saying his name on a podcast, if this ever gets big, is actually would piss me off because it's like he's getting clout, and he actually probably would. This is probably what he wants. His name to be for people to search up. Oh, who's he? You know, and like. Then get more followers from it. But this is why I had to unfollow him because it was just pissing me off so much seeing his stuff. I doubt
I followed him if if it's mediocre black and grey, there's no way that I'd follow
No,
him
it's-
even
it's
because
shit. Like-
I wouldn't have seen him then in the first place.
Yeah.
I think I know his name from people saying it to me,
Yeah.
you know. But we don't have Jack today. He's out of action. His studio got flooded. Jack, when you see this, cut that guy's name out there.
Well, cut it out or put it in. It could go well for the podcast. I don't know. So we could end up leaving.
But Jesse's
it in
going to
there.
get pissed off if he hears his name.
But
too
I don't
much.
mind. Maybe put it in because it will be a good talking point for people. But like I know it's a bit off topic, but
it's all part of it, isn't
Yeah.
it? Because like he's
He
using
used
AI
it
to
to-
create a tattoo that had 6 fingers, and obviously the creation of Adam or whatever it was does, you know, when the hand of God touches Adam's finger, that kind of a thing, and so one of those had 6.
One of them had like it was basically down
extra
here
little
somewhere. It was an
finger
extra
kinda
finger,
thing.
which look, it can be, you know, it can happen, but look through, like you can just tell he didn't do it. He just took a picture, and
like
just
it
did
has
it and didn't
happened.
look stuff.
In, you know, people have done it, like missed a finger. Something
Yeah,
has happened here and there, but like, they accidentally kind of did something wrong. I remember talking to a guy who had like, you know, you're creating something if you're not just using images that are of real things in the world. You know, if you start creating things, you know, the way you were saying about like if I'm like, we're chatting about tattoos in the studio, and I'm kind of saying, like, so you need it to go like, you know, like this or whatever, and I'm bending my body in a shape I guess portray what it is that I'm trying to do. So I use that a lot because I try to manipulate shapes in my head as to how like an eagle would. Because I can't get one of an eagle kind of turning and looking this way. You know, I can't get an image online, so I'm trying to find something like that. So now we can use AI for that, but AI might give it too many vertebrae. You know what I mean? And now it's kind of like it's like there's a twist here and there's a twist here, and you know, and so like before this, I remember seeing like they were doing birds with teeth. And so like AI was giving birds teeth, and obviously they don't have that, but like now there's more subtle things.
Thought they did.
Not since the dinosaur times, I think. How do they eat?
I thought they went to the dentist.
But, it's like you could create something then that is wrong, even if it's not as obvious as 6 fingers, but it's like there's too many bends in that neck, you know what I mean? It's like, I'm not so sure. Or, you know, the legs on a giraffe bend the wrong way and things like that.
That kind of reminds me of, did you ever see the pictures of, I think it's like shark with, like different animals, but like a shark with human teeth. It's so funny.
Those kind of things are just like, oh man, that's
Jack,
wrong.
when you're editing this, put an old shark there with human teeth or some sort of animal with human teeth. It's so funny.
Yeah, good stuff. But anyway, so things that can be wrong with AI, obviously it'll get there, you know what I mean? But things that can be wrong with AI images can really fuck up, like something you're putting on someone forever, you know. I did a tattoo one time, and a girl, so I don't use Reddit, but the girl that I was tattooing used Reddit, and she put up her tattoo on it, but it was very unfinished, you know, there was just outlines, I think, on a lot of it, and it got slated, like, but it was actually an Irish fairy. If I can remember, there was an Irish fairy, and let's say, so she was kind of like this, you know, so one arm was out, one arm was up. She had wings, but they were very subtle, lots of flowing hair. She was like a Art Nouveau kind of a vibe, and I'm pretty sure there was a bird and then some flowers growing up from underneath. And so she put it up online, and she was delighted with the tattoo so far, and she put it up online, and it got fucking slated. They were like, the girl only had 4 fingers on her hand. Her arm looked like, because it was like, she was like this, you know what I mean? So you can imagine this coming towards the viewer, you know? And so like it looked like she had this weird, short, stubby arm, you know what I mean? And then at the back, her hair, because I did Art Nouveau kind of curls in her hair, it was very flowy, the whole way down along her leg. And this one of the curls came in here, as long hair does, you know, it curled back this way. And someone was like, what the fuck is wrong with her neck? She got like, you know, some kind of weird disease or something. And then she only had 4 fingers. But Irish fairies only have 4 fingers on their hands. And so I was going with authentic fairies, like, you know, is it Faeries or something? Those kind of fairies. But so I was going with old folklore kind of stuff, you know.
Yeah.
But man, it got slated. I was feeling, you know, down about myself when it happened. Like, but I was just like, fuck them event. You know, for a second, I was just like, oh shit,
Yeah.
you know. But,
This is the thing as well. It's like some people as well get kind of a lot of clout from in a bad way, but what's the saying? Like any publicity is good publicity or something.
Yeah,
you know, it's
that's
like if you do a bad tattoo, like there's so much bad tattoos up there that get so much likes, so much views, people sharing them. And I've done it before. Like you know, to be putting up on those kind of pages, like what's it called? Tattoo Fairy, or is it Tattoo Fairy, something like that, or
I remember one called Snake Pit.
Snake Bit, those kind of ones, and it's hilarious seeing some of the really bad stuff.
Yeah.
But it's shining a light on these artists and getting them more followers, even though no one's following them really to get a tattoo off them.
Yeah.
Probably. If you are, then go get help.
Yeah.
But you know,
But people are getting tattooed with them.
people are obviously,
you know?
yeah, and even for the crack probably, because
Yeah.
it's like, sure, yeah, I got like this guy was viral.
Yeah, this guy on
Like 'cause
Snake
people
Pit.
are like that with tattoos, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah.
Legs are for fun, like.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think it's crazy because then we could do it as a tattoo and put hours into it, absolutely nail it.
Yeah, yeah.
Obviously, we'll pick it apart after, like you know, and hate it in a week. But
Yeah, but you do pour your heart and soul into
you
it.
put everything into it, and then you put it up online, and then like it's 100 times better than what they've done.
Yeah.
And then you could get 50 likes,
Yeah.
you could get 100 likes, you could
Yeah,
get whatever 1,000 views. This person then is doing a shit tattoo,
Yeah.
doing something wrong in it and getting so much. It's so heartbreaking, like when
Yeah,
that happens. And we're the ones. I'm you know, guilty of it as well because I've done it. I've shared stuff because it's funny or
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah.
But it's like,
Funny is funny.
yeah, it's funny and it gets the views and stuff like that. And I suppose this is why you just don't have to, you shouldn't concentrate as much on social media and all that, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't have to have, you know, you don't have to get all that confirmation from that word, like, you know.
Yeah, I think
just
I think you're dead right.
From social media,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah, because like when I finished that tattoo, I obviously put all the shading in the right places, and so that the arm did look like it was coming down and out, and like everyone knew it was the hair because the color went into it, and you know, all of these things. But
And
people
did you
are so
see
quick
that
to,
at the start? Did you kind of?
she came in and told me that.
But did you see what they were talking about?
No, sure. It was. I
there was
tattooed
nothing
it
wrong with
perfectly.
it, like,
except
yeah, it wasn't-
there was a few. Like by the time we had gotten to the end of it, I was doing big bold lines and stuff, and so some of the line work wasn't amazing yet.
Few wibbly
but-
wobblies, was
yeah,
there?
yeah. a little.
Few, like,
you know.
but I guarantee you she coughed or
Yeah,
something.
Yeah, no, yeah, like, I mean, she was a very good sitter, very good client and all the rest of it, but, like, I don't finish my tattoo until I finish my tattoo, so I want to go back in and clean up all that stuff, like I tattoo like I paint, you know what I mean? The finishing touches can sometimes be those bold areas, but, so I was delighted with the tattoo at the end, and it was really well received and stuff, you know, and she was delighted with it, and I had actually done two that were very similar in the same kind of style, but totally different tattoos. And the two girls were friends, and they like did pictures of the two of them together and all this kind of stuff. And so it was great. But until that moment, this is like social media shit. But until I was totally finished with that, I was still thinking about this fucking Reddit thing. You know, that people were slating my tattoo.
Yeah.
You know, it is tough to get
it's
it.
something you have to be open
kicking
for
the nuts
when
like that.
you're, you know, when you're on like putting everything out there on social media, your work, there's a certain amount of vulnerability to it, like where you are just, especially at the start, like it's different now because, like, I mean, I'm nearly 8 years into it now, and I hope by 8 years I'm doing good tattoos and that I can be stand by my tattoos.
Yeah.
And the same goes for yourself, obviously, like however long, like nearly 18 years or 17 years that you're at it, like
19, I think. Yeah.
19, yeah. So, you know, but you'd hope by then you'd have good tattoos that you're putting up, and that feeling isn't as strong. But when you're starting out and you're putting your art up online, and this is even before I even actually, so I would say even longer than 8 years. So I'm a tattoo artist, obviously 8 years, but I've been an artist my whole life, really.
Yeah.
So I've been always wanting to showcase what I can do and constantly try and get better. And there is a certain, you do like when you get likes on this and you get people saying, like, even if it's your nanny, your auntie, your uncle on Facebook years ago, and I had, you know, I look back now on how, like, when I started throwing all my drawings up on Facebook, that was the first place I went to. And of course, Facebook is just, the land of the mammies and and all that. Like, and you just get, oh, well done, and oh, that's brilliant. And now I look back and like, they're good for maybe the time, but they were shite, like really.
Well, but compared to what other people could do with a pencil,
But you're putting that out there at that age, even like 10 to well, not 10, but 13 maybe, that kind of age. I was posting stuff on social media, like, and getting so much positive feedback.
Yeah.
But you're putting it all out there. You're wanting people to, I suppose, feed your ego a little bit, but
it is a bit,
show
isn't it?
people what you can do.
When you get likes on Facebook, you get like a dopamine hit,
dopamine hit,
which is what we were trying to think of. But yeah, so I think that so this is all kind of leading back to AI. It's like all these social media things, like you said, you started posting when you were 13. None of that was a thing when I was 13. I was fucking playing with a stick and a fucking rock. But so like we're traveling through all this, and this is coming fast at us, you know what I mean, all this technology and stuff. So I think AI is like just the next thing, you know what I mean, and so we're going to have to deal with it because it's not going to go away. And it's like, let's say, old school tattooers, and they were like loyal to the coil, and fucking they were like, this is the way to tattoo and stuff. And then we all like evolved, and like now we're using pens and wands and
vibrators.
Vibrators, yeah. And so like we're using weird shit that like you would never use, but I think a lot of the machines and the technology that has grown in that is what's helping us to create the tattoos that we're doing now.
If you have a nice balance, like in both, like if you keep your hand in drawing, which I also need to do, like it's hard to find that balance. And like I said, the drawing I do is in the designs. I still draw in the designs, but yeah, as long as you're creating something that isn't just what you've seen, you're creating something a little bit. You're putting your own stamp on it.
Yeah, well,
not
I think
just
reference
small
is
bits.
totally fine. You know what I mean? With everything, reference is fine. The biggest painters in the world had people standing in front of them and lit them in some way.
You're not even people, like some people take, which this is a side of it where I really admire, but it's so much time. There's a lot of time involved in it. I can't remember the guy's name, but we've talked about him before. He takes his own pictures of people, like, so he kind of like, say, a painter would get stage a scene, where there was one full body piece this guy did. We put his name up if we know his name.
He's the tattoo artist.
Yeah, black and grey, really nice work, incredible.
Didn't he put like a load of people together, like out of his studio and stuff?
And just like with a drape across them, and kind of like even like a wreckage of a ship. And they didn't have a wreckage of a ship, but it was like as if it was the wreckage of a ship, and like the sail, not a fucking sailor. So, so in the background and stuff in the obviously there's a lot of it that he made up probably in his head. You just need rough shapes. If there's a rock here, you can create something.
You can see how the
that
light
they're
hits
lying on a boat or whatever.
You use your
but it was
imagination
incredible, and like if we had the time to do that, it'd be amazing. Because you will 100% create something that nobody ever will be able to get near, unless they do something similar, of course. But you're creating every single thing you do. Your reference is your own, and that's incredible. Like, but
well, that's what I do with oil painting. You know what I mean? So it's the only way that I can create oil paint so far, is to create a scene. Like, I mean, I've done some stuff where you're just doing it out of your head, like cubism and various things like that. But to create anything that's real, I have to use some kind of reference, and I didn't want to use anything that's already out there. So I asked clients and friends and stuff, would they pose for me, and we'd drape things across them and put them in unusual places and things like that. And I got a photographer friend of mine to come out and take photos of them, and so that's how I started it. But I've even done that for
Ditties out.
But
by the way, Al's obsessed with painting ditties, or not painting ditties, but tattooing them anyway. Every person he tries to, get to, even my client the other day, he was like, "Oh, do you know what look good in the inside there? A woman just like this with like her ditties out, big heavies." Big milk hotels, boy.
I've got a
Sucking nanas.
I like form, you know what I mean, like bodies and things that like curves and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so like what better than to create naked form
mother's
and stuff
milk.
like that.
What better than mother's milk?
But everybody was naked. All the guys were too,
Yeah.
So I think like having small amounts of like draped things across somebody, but actually to see bodies and the shape and the muscle tone and everything like that. And as naked as I can get somebody, I like to paint them in that way.
It does, for some reason, just create such a cool, like with paintings anyway. And like, whatever tattoos is different, you're wearing it on your body, but at the same time, it doesn't have to be different, because people do say, people will buy a painting, why not spend money on a tattoo? It's showing your art in a different way. But with paintings, obviously all the Renaissance and that kind of, there's so many paintings of naked women, naked men, and it just makes I don't know, who was the first that was doing it? I know we're going to get into fucking like
nakedness might have come
Wasn't
maybe
it- was it-
Baroque period, that was a little bit after Renaissance.
it was
maybe,
like
but-
very
or
frowned
the
upon
tail end of it,
at the start, where like there was a subtleness to it, but then it was like saying that your eye just goes to the nakedness, and it's like, wasn't it something like that, where this is why people did it, and obviously for the shock factor.
Yeah. Well, a lot of it, I think, so religion, probably Christianity, said they had they wanted to wipe out that. They said anybody who was depicted in a naked way or with somebody that was naked was like, they were like a prostitute or, whatever. It was like, it was frowned upon anyhow. And so I think people coming out of that, a lot of the time they didn't do it is because it was the wealth of religious organizations that were like commissioning these artists to create paintings. So they said, no naked people, we're doing away with all that. Before that there had been lots of naked stuff, and then they had to be fully clothed then, because it was obviously
Kind of went full
religious,
circle kind of thing.
Yeah.
But-
and so coming out of it, then people started to go, yeah, you know what, fuck this, I'm gonna paint what I want to paint.
Do you think back then, like before there was like photos, do you think that was like, and obviously social media, that might have been like someone posting a photo, like a raunchy nude photo on Instagram, and someone going into an art gallery and going, look at Jesus. Like that was their way of flicking through social media.
Yeah. I'd say, like, can you imagine how cold it would have been back then, in places, and they were painted people? How long did that take? You know what I mean? I know they all had different ways, but it was still hours and hours of lying in the same way with nothing on you, like. But
Sprawled across.
Yeah, it was great stuff. But I think that so I've done that with tattoos as well. I've gotten people in, taking pictures of them to get shapes of the face and contours and things like that. And I think it's cool. So, but that guy does it. Like,
and
he
to go
pushed
back
it.
to that,
Yeah.
he's like, we go off track so much, but he's so good at that, and this is where I'm saying, like, that's the ideal, like, 100% your own.
Yeah.
But obviously it's very hard to get the time to put into that. Like, I don't know what kind of days he does, whether he does, I doubt he does 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Tattooing.
Yeah. Does he do that a lot? Like,
I don't know. I'd like to look into it, and love to meet him sometime to talk to him about it. But I don't know.
that's a
I'd love
lot.
to know his lifestyle. I'd love to know, does he live in a studio to do all that? Does he tattoo one person each week for, like, if he's booked up with bigger projects? Does he do that 3 days tattooing, 2 days kind of prep, 1 day, whatever it is? I'd love to know. And because it is much harder to do it if you're trying to be booked up every day with tattooing every day, it's tough, But I definitely think doing it that way is brilliant. But then if you do need to have a balance of using your AI or reference, reference, not necessarily AI, and draw as well, and keeping your hand in to draw.
Yeah.
Because if not, you'll lose it, and you'll just lose the creativity.
Yeah, we went off at that point, but I wanted to kind of jump on that as well, because I think using AI, it's like I said, it's not going away. So using AI in a way where, like we've mentioned before about like having tools in our tool belt, things that we've learned and things that we use and stuff like that, and having all of these things to use. So using all of the things to create the best tattoo that you can. So being in nature and seeing how things are done, doing, say, like classical drawing and painting and things like that, being a good photographer and like, you know, lighting things so that you can take good photos and get depth and contrast in something. And now AI, you know what I mean? AI is able to, let's say, you could feed things into it. I'm sure I haven't used it really, you know, I dabbled in it a tiny bit to see what it was like, but I'm sure you could feed your images in and it will create something for you. And I'm sure it's like having another set of eyes to go like, oh, well, here's a way you could put it.
Ideas
Look
to
at
create
that,
a scene or something.
I hadn't thought of that, you know, and so the AI might throw something into it because AI is searching like everything that all humans know basically, and so like now you've got you're dipping into brains all over the world, and so it's like being in the studio and talking to every artist there about how I'm going to put this piece together, and you just throw it into AI, it'll throw something up, you go, oh, can you give me a different kind of a layout on that and see what that's like, just to throw stuff at you. But that's the moment then I think that we need to become an artist and go, I love this stuff. I hadn't thought of this. I'm fucking doing that. So now you put that away and you fucking draw it, or you create it, you design it, you do those things yourself. So that person who comes in to get the tattoo, or if you're painting for somebody, you're doing whatever, but the person who's getting that tattoo on their body, it's not just generated by a computer. It's like got you in there. It's because I think when you get tattooed, you have a connection with
so
that
much
person.
different input in that one tattoo. Because if you want to say it like that, one person comes in for each of us, the clients come in, beforehand we'll be talking about the design and what can we do differently, and even during the tattoo we'll talk about doing this or doing that. So a lot of it could be partially what I've literally just said to you for in the space of 5 minutes. Or like we always talk about, what you could take that and change it, or take what I've said, like you're saying about what you can do with AI, take that idea but get something completely another option from it. So you now are having 3 options. You didn't go with mine, you didn't go with your original one, you went with what we've both created. That might have sparked another idea.
Exactly.
So you're just using another kind of thing to give you that extra push to get into this other idea. Some you can use it that way. And in a way, in every tattoo, if you're in a studio with multiple tattoo artists, more than likely each of those tattoo artists have probably had an input in your tattoo if you're the client getting it. So
you're leaving with something that is a collaboration.
And I never thought about that before until now, of you saying that with AI you can use it in that way. So that's another positive. And I'm not negative against it. Clearly this conversation is probably more positive towards it. That just is, I think
we're trying to find the positive.
We both, because we know where it's going.
Inevitable,
I think, we know it's here to probably stay for, you know.
If I could tattoo forever without AI and it wasn't a thing in the world, I could 100% do that. I'm
so
really happy to keep progressing the way that I'm going. You know.
Would you rather tattoo with only AI? So would that mean like no changes even, probably? Tattoo with only AI?
Right.
Or with no references ever?
So I'd say go with you use AI and that's it. So no creative process as such.
Okay,
you
so
just
we can use it.
Replicate whatever.
Just replicate?
So you can keep tweaking it until it is what you want. Or no reference ever, and you have to do everything out of your head.
So you'd have to. That'd be tough.
I create, you know what I mean? I create in shapes and blah blah blah, and I draw a lot, but I use reference heavily for everything that I do. So that would be tough one to answer. I think if you were gun to my head, I think I would. So I'll tell you what's stopping me here, and what's stopping me is my path forward and staying busy. So to stay busy, I would use AI because I know everybody else is going to keep growing in that way. But to stay true to myself, I would choose no more reference, and I'm going to go with no more reference. I wouldn't use AI because I want to create so much. I want people to get tattooed and they're leaving with a piece of me nearly, you know what I mean? And so I go, nah, fuck it, you know what I mean? If I'm not going to use AI, I'm going to pour myself into this and I'm going to nail it. Fuck AI.
I think
how'd you do?
It's a tough one as well. I'm in between. It's hard to say a direct answer, you know, but for the work I do now, it really depends on the specifics, whether I can like draw on top of the AI, which I probably can't in this question. But
yeah, that's it.
if
Like we
it's
might as
just
well
AI,
push it to
yeah,
both
like
ends.
I probably, yeah, because it wouldn't. I don't think AI could create what the style I turn my references into.
Yeah.
If I'm tattooing
yeah.
it that way,
If you have to do it
if I
exactly.
have to do it that way,
Yeah.
so
Well,
I
let's
think.
say you have to use the AI reference. What you
But
do
you
in
can
the
tattoo
skin,
then whatever way.
what you
Oh,
do
well
in the
then,
skin, you know,
yeah.
you just can't use it. You can't do any other
Well, then-
reference.
well, then
can't look at anything anywhere.
Definitely use AI for me then, and I know
Yeah.
that's a fucking people are gonna be like, oh no, that's
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
but
you get to create
I'll explain
it.
because I think I could, if you give me a face. So if I'm allowed tattooed in whatever way,
Yeah.
if you just give me a face, normal, whatever reference it is, whether it's AI, whether it's whatever,
Yeah, yeah.
I will then do my own thing with that and still have that same feeling that you're getting with the creativeness, like,
Yeah.
and because that's what I do anyway. So I don't even have to draw on it. I can have that face and turn it into a dark demonic or whatever,
Yeah.
you know, add stuff to it during the tattoo
Yeah.
to make it into the style I do now.
Yeah.
So I think I would go with that way if that's the specifics.
Yeah.
But I understand.
Yeah, to have no reference
Yeah,
at all.
to have no reference.
Yeah, where do you
If
go
I
from
had, if I was to pick no reference, if I had no reference to use, I don't think I'd be doing the style that I'd be doing.
Yeah.
Because mine does heavily rely on, not like I don't try and do it realism. I don't try and like, you know, get the exact shading of the reference I'm using.
Yeah.
I do make a lot of it up, but that's based off. It's like if you're squinting at the reference.
Yeah.
And then you go, okay, that's all you're really looking at in a way.
Yeah.
So the rest of it is me.
Yeah.
But I think if I was to use the go with no reference, I'd probably end up doing something like neo-trad or something that I think I would draw neo-trad better out of my head
Yeah.
than what I do now, which is a mix of realism and kind of
Yeah, because
graphic.
realism is tough to actually just draw
it's,
straight
it's a lot of
onto.
faces. It's a lot of.
Yeah.
I think you could get away with a lot with neo-trad. And don't get me wrong, you have to be good at drawing still.
Yeah.
But I think when I'm drawing, I prefer to actually draw that type of style.
Yeah.
You know, than,
That's interesting,
than
actually,
mine.
isn't
So
it?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of what. But overall, I would go with it.
Yeah,
with
yeah.
the-
And for anyone listening, I suppose, because I know you and I know how you work, I know exactly what you're talking about
Yeah.
because you have a reference, and by the end of your tattoo, I'm like, oh, you used this reference for it because you've created so much on top of it, and then on the tattoo and all the rest of it, it's nearly not there anymore. It's kind of like, I think the way that you work a lot is a little bit like H.R. Geiger or Giger, whichever way you want to say it. It's like, I'm pretty sure anyway, he used to blow up huge photographs of things, and then he would create on top of the photograph, you know. And so he would create like bioorganic shapes on a woman's face, and then like have creatures come in around and stuff.
Yeah.
And so when I'm watching you tattoo or create designs, it's very similar, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
And so yeah, I think I'm shooting myself in the foot a little bit by choosing no reference at all, because I can't even like, so it's basically now I'm an old school tattoo artist, like, you know, back when there was no internet, there was no nothing, that's the route that I'm going to take. So I think I'm kind of shooting myself in the foot by doing that, but it's fucking true to me, you know what I mean? So I kind of have to do it that way.
Yeah, I think.
But,
Yeah, I think it's definitely a good question for people to think about.
yeah.
So yeah, do you think fuck AI or no?
Yeah. What do you all think about AI, where it's going, and if you're tattooers, what do you think it's gonna do to the tattoo industry? How
Yeah.
far is it going to go? You know?
Yeah, is it going to be a positive thing, or do you just think, nah, fuck it,
Yeah.
get rid of it, or you know?
Yeah, because I think it's here to stay. So like it's how we navigate it, isn't it? You know, from here on in. But yeah, it's an interesting one. That's it's just going to keep climbing and keep growing, and we'll figure it out as we go, I suppose.
I'm sure it's going to come up a lot anyway in these podcasts.
Yeah,
and
I'm sure we'll
in
be back to
general,
it, yeah.
there's so much. There's even a few things now I can think of that we will probably touch on again.
Yeah.
Because it just branches off into so many different conversations about it, doesn't it?
Exactly,
I mean,
yeah.
we went off on tangents. So
Yeah, that's cool. But thanks for tuning in.
yeah,
Sláinte.
see you in the next one.
daily.
Cool. So Jack, how'd that sound, man? Oh, he's not there. Is he?
That's the end of it, Jack.
Better not talk about him behind his back.
I know, yeah. Shithead.
You're a fucking slut.
With your big beardy face on you.
With your fucking tattoo shop underwater.
Floating tattoo shop.
Will we swap t-shirts? That'll be funny. The next one, just you in the red, me in that one.
I can't wear red. There's too much red on my face. I look.
Can we swap pants? You look like Santa
Just
Claus.
have no pants.
Look like Santa Claus. Santa Claus always looks like Santa always looks like he's a full on alcoholic, don't he?
Yeah.
Like in movies
Whiskey
and all, they just
nose
made
and
him like.
big- He's definitely got high blood pressure.
Yeah, definitely.
my
I mean,
God,
like, is it all the milk or the cookies or the Budweiser? And then like it's probably cold in the, you know,
Well,
obviously
there's
it's
probably a
cold,
bit of chill,
like
I'd say.
bit of
That's what they
chill,
were going for.
you know. But
Sun blushed.
Coke is falling. You know? Let's go.
Okay.
Cracker. I'm just going to take off my jumper then. Jack, do you want me to change in front of the camera? Do it. Do.
Hello. How are you getting on? What to the show?
Hello.
Hi. Tap man.
How are you?
Tell all your friends about me.